Good.
Hi and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the brand new show, Remote Viewing Alliance, which we're going to every week. We will be looking at celebrity energies. We're going to learn to unlock your own extrasensory perception powers. We're going to look at unusual guests that are working not just with remote viewing, but working with energies, with amazing body and emotions that come up all over, and being able to share their experiences and give you their insight. And also, towards the middle of the show, we're going to reveal to you the target that we're working on this week. So this week's target, the number is 858903. So what we will be doing is later on, we will be looking at this very easy target. And the target will be a particular type that will be an easy one to move to and change and go into and look at. So from that point of view, I will put that target number into the chat for us. What I would like everybody to do, if you wish to participate, you put your feet flat on the ground and clear your mind and allow yourself just to concentrate on the target number, which is 858903. Have a pen and paper ready, as we mentioned earlier. Have a pen and paper ready, and then just the first little trickles of energy that come into your mind, those that come to the back of your mind or even to the front of your mind, write those down on your piece of paper so that you can then check when we reveal the picture that is the target. You can have a look and see how much of the target you got right. Now, when you have an item in the target that is correct, it's called a hit. So you have had a hit on a particular item to do with the target. In the meantime, while everyone is going through the motions of tuning in and moving forward into different energies, we're going to talk to our guest today, which is Karen Downey. So Karen, thank you very much for joining the show today, the very first Remote Viewing Alliance show. You utilize a lot of the energies around remote viewing, and you also utilize a lot of the information, which does the body code, and it does the emotion code, and it does all of those areas as part of the work that you do in helping to heal people. Could you just give our viewers and everyone else a little bit of a background, and also more importantly, where they can find you so that we understand where the website is before we move on to talking in more detail? Thanks, Karen. It's over to you.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me, Beverly. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing, so bear with me. But I'm very grateful to be on your very first show. This is amazing. And my background would be in a lot of different areas, but they all relate to healing, energy, being a part of the whole, moving and releasing what needs to be let go of so that we can all move on in a healthy manner. And especially nowadays, it is so important, that journey from the head to our heart and what needs to be released along the way. Oh, and my website is Break Free at Last, all one word.
Oh, that's super. And the areas that you're concentrating on, that is the target number for today. So everyone, if you weren't with us in the beginning, it's to put your feet flat on the ground, ask for your own level of protection, and just ask for visions or ask for information around the target number, which is 858903. And whatever pops into your mind first, then utilize that, write it down on your piece of paper. And then later what we will be doing is we will be putting up the target, which is a picture of something specific. And it's a very easy one. It's a blind target, so no one else has seen this before. It's what we do every week when we do our training, and Karen has been in the remote viewing training with us and sharing how she utilizes energies. So from that point of view, take whatever you get. If it's a mountain, do a squiggly line for a mountain. If it's a stream, do, water if it's a stream. If it's a bird in the sky, or if there's little clouds in the sky, put little clouds. Whatever it is that you're picking up, just very quickly write it on your piece of paper. And you could even go as far as putting your feeling. How does it feel? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Is it snowy? Any of those aspects, whatever's in the picture, look at the feeling. Look at how you feel. Do you feel anxious? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Do you feel that you want to run free, like it's an open space? All of those aspects get added when you are looking at the target number. Because the target number, since we got online this evening, that target number, the energetics around that target number has all of the information, and all of the energetics around it is surrounding the target number. So let's go to the next area. So welcome, Ron. How are you this evening?
Ron is freaking out, man. He is scrambling away here. He is scrambling away here. He just had another mad moment at the end of that live stream.
Oh, that's good.
We're not getting into it now. So we're now, Ron is this is what Ron lives for. This is Hogwarts, okay? And I'm here for it. So I've got my number written down. I've got things coming into my head. Now I'm realizing that having handwriting I can read is probably going to help.
It's very important to have handwriting that you can read. It is very important. Which is very good. So we're actually going to dive into the Gene Hackman energetics. So there's two images that we will put onto the screen, and I will go through all of those energetics and explain what I did was I remote viewed initially and reviewed what was happening within Gene Hackman and around him. So there was two separate areas that I looked at with him. I looked at him within his house, and I looked at what was around him in his home, which is similar to the situation that Karen would do when if she's looking at the energetics around an individual for the body code and also for the emotional code. Would you like to explain a little bit, Karen, about how body code and how emotion codes work, please?
Sure, Beverly. I'll start with the simple one, which is the emotion code. And this is the chart that we use here. Mm-hmm. And via muscle testing, I find out which emotion and which organ is involved. And then once finding the organ that is involved, then finding the trapped emotion that is within that, and then releasing that energy so that the person can move on without that blockage.
Uh-huh. And with remote viewing, I know that when we've done this previously, we've looked at, the target individuals. I think part of that is looking at the specifics around the target individual. So where you have, for instance, around the person's heart area, so you have then the whole body, you can easily look at all of the colors and the energies around that. So when you do that, you've got your chart. Are you then able to pick up easily from the chart what would that person need to be working on, either body or emotion?
Yes. for example, right now, I'm just taking a look at you, and I went to row 3, which is the lung and the colon area, and there's grief. And so I'm just releasing that grief.
Okay.
And if we were working a one-on-one, I would go into, it was around 4 years old. We would go into talking about what was going on at 4 years old.
Okay. Right.
It could go much deeper, depending on what comes up once that emotion has been identified, and the age. It can take a moment just for maybe a memory to come back.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not immediate, it might be a day or two later. So it isn't about like doing the whole complete clearing all in one whack. It's like getting permission to work on you or the client, and then going as far as we can go.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's very tiring. This is emotional work, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And it's not easy work. It's not just slam, bam, thank you. And we're cleared. Or, the wrinkle of the nose and it disappears. It's recognizing what happened, what the emotion was, and releasing it with love.
Okay, so the emotion for me then at that sort of age 3-4 marker was the disappearance, because at the time I was little, and I had wandered out of my my home in Merrifield Close in Plimpton. And what had happened was I toddled out on my own. I turned left out of the driveway. I'd managed to get out from the backyard, was fully enclosed. It had fences all the way around, really. And then it had the dirt bins on the side, and it was a very big gate. But for some reason, that gate had been left open. So I was able to push through that without realizing, obviously, when you're that little, you don't realize the emotion of surrounding danger, because you don't actually know about danger at that level. And I went down the driveway, turned left, and then went down to the main road, and then turned left on the main road, stayed on the pathway, on the sidewalk, but then went up or went down the hill, and then went over the stile into where the sheep were, because I thought they were so pretty. So I used to go in and I used to look at them. Now, we had always walked that before, but then, unfortunately, I walked up the hill and then I completely disappeared for 3 days, disappeared into thin air. And I then was eventually, after 3 days, I was then found in the engine of a steam train, an old steam train that was on disused tracks. And I was really cold and obviously hungry. And that is probably that energy that you're picking up, is because the EMTs, the emergency services, they found me in there, took me back, did a full examination and all those good things, got me rehydrated, etc., then took me home. But the fact that you picked up the grief is very interesting, because that energy of where I was for those 3 days and 2 nights, well, sorry, 1 night, no, 2 nights, 2 nights, was that I had been taken off world, and I had been taken in a craft. And I think part of that emotional grief side is that I missed that, and I felt a level of being really sad, of having to leave them and having to be brought back and being hidden in the engine of a steam train so that I could be returned back here. And I think that's probably the grief area that your sort of remote viewing energy is picking up about those areas, because I was, for a long time, I was really upset and peed off for being back, because I really didn't particularly want to be back. So that is exactly right what you've picked up there.
I want to add to that too, is the organs that came up are the lungs and the colon. So in being in that situation, the breath, not being able to breathe right, maybe holding your breath, and then also going to the bathroom. Whether you had to hold yourself, number one, or number two, there were things going on within your colon. And yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also a really good catch there, Karen, because the chest was never really the same after being returned. And there was always varying levels of breathing difficulty, amongst various other things that happened within my body at the time. So it's a good pickup to pick up the lungs, because they became weak, which ended up with asthma, which then ended up with the double pneumonia, but then went to pleurisy, and then ended up with something similar for years and years and years and years after that off-world incident. So what you are picking up there is extremely accurate. In a way, I think part of what you're able to do with this ability and with this body code and emotion code is be able to do an overall forensic view and a deep dive into what's happening with all of these energies. And I think that that's extremely valuable, because these are areas then that individuals that you see as clients, they could then concentrate on those areas because they're key. They are the main ones that came up.
Another thing, Beverly, in working with a client, for me, always the first thing to remove is the heart wall. That does not matter what age you are. The heart wall is what gets all of those emotions get trapped around the heart.
Okay.
So that would be another whole session in what all got layered around your heart in that whole process, and removing those emotions one by one to open you up. Because we all have our baggage, and we hide those things that have happened to us. Sometimes we've brought them in, when we were born. They're ancestral. There's so many different aspects, but we can't really do the emotional, mental, physical, spiritual work in our lives if we've got a wall around our heart.
So you obviously then in your case, we've had a couple of questions. So is broken heart syndrome then a real thing?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it is. And, using the emotion code, body code work for that, I think, is so vital, because there's so many different emotions that happen within that syndrome. And yes, it is broken. Sometimes you feel like you can't walk. I mean, it's a wipeout. So it's really good if one can to work with a practitioner and go into that scenario and story and event that happened to break the heart, so that you're ready to move on to the next chapter.
Yeah, so I'm just putting up here one of our individuals in the chat has said, pure joy, Kiwi Canuck has said, so broken heart syndrome, it's real. So I think that that's a really good level of, understanding that these layers, particularly around the heart, and I like the fact that you said it's heart wall, because that is something that is obviously very real. Can that bring about, what types of issues would there be? Would there be sort of minor pains, or some of those aspects? Would there be anything that you could explain? And thank you so much to the mods. KLG particularly, she has put up Karen's website, which is breakfreeatlast.com. So get in touch with Karen there, and all of her information, her other YouTubes, as well as everything that she's doing with her daughter Rhonda is also on the site. And I think if I'm right, individuals can book a partial taster session to taste as a taster session for a little while, to go and work with you and your daughter to go through this at the same time. So it's a very interesting concept to look at all of the energies that are moving and changing within the heart wall. Do you find that there's a lot of layers, or is it just a certain amount of layers where that pain and suffering has been laid down? Just explain to us, how does that work?
Thanks for that question, Beverly. It's, you never know how many layers have been built up. And sometimes in releasing one emotion, that might free up, you can't see how all of this is happening because it's on the energy level. And you can also recreate a heart wall. So one can work on getting rid of their heart wall. But like, for example, over the last 4 or 5 years, there's been so many things that have happened in the world we live in that I would imagine that the majority of people have built up another heart wall with the fear. And fear lowers our immune system. So we don't want to be in fear. But each person would be individual as to how many emotions are trapped around that heart wall. And for the complimentary session, that would be like a 15-minute session, but mainly like releasing 3 to 5 trapped emotions around the heart. And it would be, what is the most significant emotions that need to be released right now?
Oh, wow. So just that in itself with the taster session is very real. And there's very real healing that could take place in a taster session on its own. So we've got Wizen that says, it's very real. My grandfather died from a broken heart 2 weeks after my grandmother passed. Oh, my goodness. Wizen, we're so sorry for your loss. God bless you. So, yes, that's just showing us how very real it is. And we've got, let's have a look and see. There's some other views as well that individuals are saying. Oh, bless. This is a very interesting one. Maybe you can comment on it. Lofty Morgaine has said, broken heart, like a 500-pound bag of wet sand. So this individual is likening a broken heart to that. Yes. Is that what the heart wall is like? Can you just comment on that, please?
I'm going to take just a personal experience that I had with a broken heart. And I had never experienced it before. I did not think I would ever be out of the depression. Mm-hmm. And I felt like one of my legs had been amputated.
Wow.
Which the 500-pound bag, it's like, it's crippling. So it's nothing to be poo-pooed at. A broken heart, the loss of a loved one. And we need love and nurturing around healing from that. And one of the key things, again, is removing those trapped emotions. And, it's important. The work can be done virtually. I am so sorry. I do not know how to make that noise go away.
Sorry, it's super retro, and I'm digging it.
Oh,
Oh, Ron, do you know how to make it go away? Because neither of us know how to.
I don't even know what decade the device is from that makes that noise. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, it could literally be anything from like a kid's like tiny arcade game. Is it a sound?
Okay, got it. I found the little mark, you guys. I turned the volume off and stuff, but it's like, oh my. Well, we have to have a laugh. We have to have a little laugh.
We do.
Do not worry. That is one of the things that we are here for. Can you all like and subscribe and share? Ron is just like and subscribe, and then listen to Beverly. I'm going to be quiet.
So we're talking about the broken heart syndrome, and we're talking about, as you mentioned, the heart wall. And that, does that mean then, with the heart wall and that energy around it, that could you in a way hide away? Because I do get some of my clients, it's almost like I say that there's this black glass in front of them, because they just, they don't want to put themselves out there, and they're not interested in having a relationship because they don't trust anymore. And then they literally, I keep on seeing that energy around them. They just lock themselves away. Is there such a thing that, when you're working, when you're doing all of this work, is there something similar to that you get?
Oh, absolutely, Beverly. I mean, along with that broken heart comes, the depression, the sadness, the dark, the wanting to isolate, not wanting to talk to people, crawling in, to a little cave. Depression is dark. It is very, very dark, and it is engulfing the whole body. And I believe that really does come with heartbreak and loss of many kinds, and it's crippling. And it's very crippling, and it's very heavy. It is that 500 pound that
of sand. And one of our viewers, Tia Bean, has said, I had a patient that became unalived through it on the sudden loss of his sister, and his wife was then diagnosed after he became unalived, but then managed to save her. So it looks like all the work that you're doing and how you're utilizing these skill sets would actually be able to reduce the suffering and the pain, particularly around individuals. So I think it's a very deep subject, and I'm sure we won't be able to get into all of it this evening. But the fact that you've got the two areas, the body code and the emotion code. So you've explained to us and our lovely listeners and those in the chat, you've explained to us the emotion code. So are you able to give us an idea of what would the body code be? Because that's very different.
Sure, Beverly. There's an app that is on the phone or iPad, whatever you use. And again, it's done like the muscle testing and using the chart for the emotions, only it goes through every area of the body. All the chakras, all the organs, all of the, oh my goodness, energetic, what do I want to say? What is that energy that comes like off of your computer stuff?
PVO.
Yeah, there you go. All of that. Every area of the body. So it really goes into the body. And then sometimes maybe there's an issue with an organ or a gland, and what is holding that organ or gland in distress might be 2 or 3 trapped emotions.
Oh, right. Okay.
And that organ can get well. We can also test to find out at what rate the immune system is running. I mean, that is so very important. And also, I'll throw in that, I mean, our heart radiates out the energy like around 12 feet. So we all play a very important part in healing.
Mm.
And it comes from us doing the work. And as we open up, that energy spreads out. And also, I'm sure you've probably experienced this, someone that is shut down, angry, depressed, you can't be around them too long.
Yeah.
They weigh you down. You can't stay in conversation. And again, that's that energy field. And we radiate out that energy.
Yeah, that's very true, because it radiates out. And it radiates, some of them I've seen going out for a mile or a kilometer, where the heart area is even further, but it doesn't radiate in. It moves outward in this field here. Ron, there was an image that was sent through earlier that I wanted to put up on the screen so that we can go through what some of the it was the one that has all of the circular items, and it is a picture of an individual. That's the one. So this one here was the image of, this is the image of Gene Hackman. So this talks about, this is the body code and also the emotion code, what it would look like. So when I looked at Gene Hackman, this is before he transitioned across to the other dimensions. And these here shows the main area. Now, we all know retrospectively that Gene Hackman had a pacemaker. We knew that he had one or two other small areas that were an issue for him, but the highest problem area was in this upper area, in the chest area. And that is then radiating out. We also see some of the electrical aspects, which then was a direct result of the pacemaker, with the electrical charges and currents. We also see that coming up and down the spine, we have that energetics, because there is an energy flow that moves up your spine from the bottom and comes up into the base of your neck and then radiates out. So we can see in this energetic view, as a remote viewer, looking at the Gene Hackman person before he was able to transition, this is what he looked like at the time. We also see a lot of the swirling and the changing, and we see his hands, we see the two sets of white energy where he was able to move those and utilize them, because he had somebody with him who has been able to create music, which was then soothing him and giving him calmness. So this is what he then looked like. So Karen, from your point of view, from the body code and the emotion code, looking at the remote view of the energy bodies and all of the areas, is there anything that you could glean from the subject, which is Gene Hackman? Is there anything else that you would like to add from that in your work?
Thanks, Beverly. What just really strikes me is the area around what would be the root chakra. Mm-hmm. There's like this little area here. So he may have had all of the things going on, yes, in the heart. But it really, his foundation was very wounded. His foundation was very wounded.
And so that's good, because you can see there, then there's very little at the bottom. So near where his upper thighs meets the torso of the body, there is very little happening in there, because everything was, as you rightly said, is all concentrated energetically in the chest and the upper torso.
Yes, he probably had issues with his left leg. I'm not sure what all you have picked up, but there just seems to be there's something going on with the left leg.
Okay, so this is what happened. It must have been just about a couple of days that I was able to view him. before he was able to transition.
Wow.
So then we've got a second image, which Ron will put up for us, and it is the process of the transitioning, which I wanted to share this with you and then all the viewers. This is when I saw him. He actually he literally walked out of his physical organic body. He got up and he walked out, and that was it. He never turned back and he never asked for anything else, but he just walked out. And as he was walking out in that peaceful energy, is as I saw him, he had all of this light and bright energy swirling behind him. So this is the Gene Hackman on the day that he moved across to the other side. So as his physical body lay on the ground, he was already walking and he was already transitioning and he was already collected by those that were already on the other side and were waiting for this transition. And you can see by I've done a depiction of what I saw of him, because he was quite a thin chap and he didn't have much to keep him going. And I think that part of the confusion in the way that he was allowed him then to literally turn around and walk out, because it was no longer a physical organic body that served him. So I wanted to at least show that and share that with all of our viewers, so that you can understand what the imagery that I see when I see someone transitioning. And obviously, if you have a death doula that sits with someone who is transitioning, they're very special people. If there was someone that sits with those that are transitioning, this is exactly what they would see. Thanks, Ron. That's a good one. So what we'll do now is we will start talking to those that are able to see the code or the target 858903. And
I'm freaking out about this, right?
You are freaking out.
I'm freaking out, man. Like, I'm freaking out. I'm ready. I'm so ready to either quietly sit here because I got it totally wrong or lose my mind.
Well, let us go back into some of the aspects that are in various targets, because it's the first time that everybody is doing it. Please remember, there's no right and there's no wrong. There is just energy, and it might be that you're picking up on something else, or you might be picking up on something that was happening before the image was taken or after the image was taken, or you might be picking up on the country that the image was taken in. So there is no right and no wrong. It's the first time that everybody's going to be utilizing their extrasensory perception to tune into something. So please don't be hard on yourself.
I'm going to be very hard on myself.
Don't be hard on yourself.
I'm not going to get over this. If I don't get this completely right first time, I will never get over this, Beverly. No, I'm kidding.
Oh dear. No pressure then. No pressure then. So I just need to be able to it's an image. So here we go. It's an image. And I need to work out how to do it. This is going to be fun and games.
Okay, let's make Beverly solo so we can all watch her close up, fumbling with the technology. This humanizes Beverly.
You carry on with that. I am going to make you choke on your
whoa.
On your
listen, whoa, Beverly, let's relax, okay? Damn. We've taken it a little bit further than knocking me down the last stairs. Jeebus. Do you want to send me the image?
Yeah, but you deserve that.
You want to send me the image on WhatsApp and I'll put it up?
I don't know how to do that either.
Okay. Do you want to?
So let me just have a look. So I've got all RV targets. So, but it's the wrong target. Let me just go back into there and see.
If everyone can take a screenshot of Beverly looking confused, the best meme with the best caption posted on the server will win a prize. Okay. I'm just saying. Email me, Bev. You want to email it to me?
Yeah, probably that's a good idea
Or
because I would
fax.
then.
Do you want me to fax it over? We can try that. No. We should bring back the fax machine just for banter. Actually, the fax machine it's a wild, man, wild tool.
Oh, that's too funny. I was actually involved with one of the first fax machines that actually tried out faxing from
Of course you
Japan
were, babe.
to South
Of course you were.
Africa.
Okay.
It was called the Oki copier. I was
All right.
involved with that very first time. So there you go.
Oh man,
Oh dear.
some of the
Oh dear.
some of the
me.
emails. It's amazing when you put your email out there, just what incredibleness turns up in your emails. Like,
Right, that's the target. Can you see that target?
nope.
I say it's not. No. Ah, okay.
Do you
So
wanna
I'm
try?
just going to.
If you've got it open on your computer, if you look down the bottom,
I
you'll see a
do.
button that says present. If you click on present, and then you'll see the name of the image, it'll be something .jpeg or whatever. Click on that, and it will present to us all. Okay. Oh my God. I just want to reiterate, finds people with her mind. Finds people with her mind. This is a two-step process. Open the image, click the button, select the image, display.
I did. Oh, wait. Here we go. All right, I've opened the image. There's the image on my machine, but I don't know what else to do with it.
Now you need to go down. Now you need to look at the screen that we're on and click the button that says present.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, present, and then
select the
file. Image file.
Well, no. There should be a list of things that are open on your computer, and one of them will just be the name of the image that you've got open.
Okay, I better cancel
look
that
at
one.
the hamster on the wheel trying its best. It's like, I know what I'm meant to be doing. I just can't get there. Well, you got this, Beverly. Everyone send your psychic energy to Beverly for tech support. Psychic
because I'm going to need it. That's very true. Ah, there it is. Hold on a minute. There it is.
Okay.
So there, I've done it again. But then if I click on it, it says copy, resize. No, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it. There we go. And I'm going to send it to you. I'll send it to you as an email. How about that?
Hell yeah. We got there. We did it, guys.
Yes.
Collectively, we got there. Psychic tech support is a real thing, man.
It is a real one. So what? There we go. So there we go. I've just sent it to you, and that's it with a number.
It worked. It worked. And the solution was send it to Ron. Brilliant. Still worked. Still a solution.
It did.
Still magical. Right.
Oh, thanks, Ron. Thank you, Ron. That's very sweet. Oh dear. I will get these things right eventually one day. But there you go. Job done. Yeah. Oh dear. So Karen, thank you for sharing this unusual moment with us.
Love it. I love it because it's me to the max.
Oh dear.
I'm so glad I'm not alone.
No, you're not alone. Definitely not. That everybody needs a Ron in their life to help them with
Yes. Everybody needs a Ron. I love it.
No.
All right.
Oh, this is so
can I just? I've got it, but can I just show you something before I show the image?
Yes, put it on. Put it on. Let's have a look.
I just want you to look at this, right? Okay. Okay. When you look at this,
the trees, the road.
No, it's more the path and the shape that forms at the top of the mountains that is being picked up on here, right? And tree. I've got tree written down, and I've got a whole bunch of other stuff, but I just want to bring up this image right now because this is mad.
Go on then. Do it.
Bosh.
So here it is.
Oh, wow.
So listen, I've got welcoming, glowing, illumination, welcoming space, tree, and then this repeating elongated shape with a triangle. So I was like, okay, basic shape of a tree, basic shape of a lamp, basic shape of a road sign. It was all of this me trying to figure out what it was, but it was the road I was seeing.
And you're also seeing the mountain that is the triangular shape. Lots of triangular shapes.
But look at the hole inside of the shape there, as if it's continuing on through the forest, if that makes sense.
So
I mean, I get that now.
if you go into the middle of the image, go right into the middle of the image, and that's where the hole is. So
Yeah,
you go into the middle, and you'll see that that's where it moves down. So that's your hole, and you have a hole in the tree as well. There's a hole in the tree on the side.
Now,
that side.
I will say most of the things I got were feelings. It was
that's
warm.
good.
It was illuminating. That was key. Glowing,
Good.
welcoming.
Yes.
Illumination, welcoming space, tree. I don't know what that word's meant to be, right? But I can't read it.
That's all right.
And then I've got street written down. So I guess that is the street.
Well, it's a track which could be known as a street as well. And you've got this. So if you got green fields, grass, trees, a tree, lots of trees, because there's the forest going up the mountains. If you've got mountains, sky, blue, pale blue, fluffy white clouds. If you've got lots of trees in a forest environment, all different types of trees. If you've got fields of growing a particular type of produce, or farming fields, because those two fields are farming fields. If you've got a shady area, if you've got an energy that you felt calm, because this is a lovely calm picture. If you got calmness, if you got warmth and sunshine, glowing, all of those, any of those words that describe what we're seeing in this lovely calm picture, all of those are what we call hits. So that means that you have picked up something within this image. We've got also a beige sand color feeling. If you felt that there was like little rocks and little bits of sand, if you look very closely at the road, there is sand, but there's also little bits of pebbles on the sides where the wheels of the vehicles would have pushed. If it was a tractor or something, they would have pushed the larger bits of stones. They would have pushed that aside. So that's an hit as well. If you got something like lots of weeds in a weeded area, if you look underneath the tree, lots of weeds underneath there. Those particular plants are weeds. A lot of them are weeds. So there was a lot of extra symbolism in this image. And the reason why we always choose an image that is very, very basic. So no people, no buildings, nothing too dramatic as your first try. We choose something quite easy because we make sure that there's nothing that's going to throw you off as a learner. And we give you something quite easy to look at as an image. So, Indiana Farm Girl, thank you so much that you loved the show. I hope you did well on your image.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Viv.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more this repeated feeling, right? So now I'm going to assume that is the first step for me. I'm now going to focus on that feeling the next time we do this. Focus on that feeling, and you know what I mean when I say try and see through the feeling, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I'm going to try next time. I'm getting an overwhelming sense that it's like follow the feeling. That's what I'm getting, which is interesting. I'm just talking to myself at this point, right? But
no, that's good, because I think that I was wondering how everybody did with their various hits that came in from the image. And as I said earlier, because it's the first time we're trying this on the very first show tonight, how did everybody do? Did you manage to pick up the colors? Did you manage to pick up, the energy around?
Colors. Yeah, that's something
colors,
I never got.
As well.
Well, it's
Did
very
you get any
prominent.
colors?
No, but
No.
I didn't really know what I was looking for, and I was getting overwhelmed and distracted by the feelings.
That's fine.
But it's very interesting though. It's more than fine, because if I was standing halfway between the end of the road and where this picture begins, looking up at the sky with warm glow, embrace of illumination and welcoming feeling of just calm and serenity. That's what I would feel standing there, which is fascinating.
It's lovely. It's lovely. And then also we find that, I mean, some of my viewers in the Alliance, and I absolutely love all of the viewers that we have that give freely of their time. They volunteer every Friday, and every Friday we work on new cases. We've got a new case this week. This Friday there's a new case of a little lad who's 3 years old who's missing, and everybody has their core skills. Everybody has different skills. So we've got somebody that tunes in, like you've done, Ron, is tuned into the energy and the feeling around what they're picking up. So we have another person who tunes into numbers. She's excellent at picking up numbers. What are the numbers around this? So when you're looking for a child, you want to find where is that person where they're being held? What is the number? What can you see? What was the number of the taxi? What was the number in the street? What was the number of the building? So we have those that are very good at buildings. We have others that are really good at looking at areas surrounding where the person might be. So you might have somebody that picked up only the tree. It's possible. That's this big tree, this old tree that's in the front and the foreground of the image. Somebody then that is just picking up what is there will just get the tree. But then there's others that are able to pick up whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's snowy, whether there's rain, etc. They can actually pick up on that specific time when we're working on the case. They can pick up, is it sunny? Is it a blue sky? What does it look like around? So everybody has a different skill set.
Do you know,
some are very good at picking up the country. I've got some that are excellent at saying this is the quadrant of the world, because we take the world map and we cut it into bits, and they're able to say, well, these are the quadrants that I see this child in. Did you have a go, Karen? Did you try anything, or were we just too busy talking, you and I?
No, actually, I had written down blue,
sky,
heart, heart, rainbow, and clouds.
Okay, so you got the clouds, that's a hit. Blue, you got a hit. Heart, I think we need to look at the shapes that are within the tree, because there could be a heart shape somewhere around there. But if there isn't one, then that one is a no. And the other one was rainbow.
The cloud, not the one that's right on the mountain, but the one that's over in the tree has a rainbowy
type of cloud. Okay. So that is also, those are very good hits as well. I mean, considering this is the first time and it's one of those, it's a good one. There's no right and wrong. But
do you know what's interesting, Bev?
Yeah.
I stepped away and I marked, when I stepped away and turned off all the sound, I marked the things that came through then, right? And it was weird because it was the only time where my brain wasn't trying to pay attention to other things. And that's when I seen the straight line and the triangle and this. It was road, but it was just this long thing with a triangle. And you know, a road sign, how if you were to look at it, it's got that long pole and then it's like a triangle.
Yes.
If you see
I
thought that's what it meant by road, right? And then I came and I wrote all this down, and that's all. So I now know that it's more about this this journey to an image through allowing it to manifest and not to be corrupted with assumption.
Well, that's the biggest thing that we have when we do the training I only give everybody in when we were doing the workshop on the Fridays, I only give them 5 minutes. That's all. They have 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, and Karen, you know this because you've been in the school, and you have 5 minutes to do it, and you've just got to write down ding, 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 whatever you're getting, however you're getting it, draw your little images, and that's it. And after 5 minutes, then I come back in and say, right, who's got what, who's looking at what, and then we all share together. We share who's got what, and then all of the imagery that gets shared, all of the viewers, if they've got the same images, I then count how many people have got the same image. So sometimes we'll get like 5 or 6 people that say the child is on a boat and there is a container, and then 5 or 6 will say, I've seen a container and it's burgundy and it's got an image on it and the image looks like X, Y, and Z. And then we start counting the amount of times that the same images and the same information. And sometimes we'll get the same image that will come up 45 times from 45 of the remote viewers, which tells us all that we pretty much have had, thank you, Joseph, it is lovely, and we actually love having all of your comments. And I'm just going to send you a personal message. She's going to be fine. She's going to be super, and we're sending her healing too. So that's a personal message there to Joseph. So what happens with this is the more hits you get that are all the same, what we then do is we write a huge report, and then I send all of that out to the agency. So it could be police, it could be port control, it could be international trafficking patrol individuals, it could be, and also the parents and anyone else. But I also then make sure that whatever we've got down, that we make sure that that goes out to those that are busy investigating the case. Because whatever we've got, we always say, no matter what information we've got, no matter how small, it goes onto the report. Because that one special tiny bit of information, that could save this child's life. So we make sure that everything is in, no matter what it is, no matter how small. So I hope everybody enjoyed this evening. Thank you for sharing the image.
Oh, she's so nonchalant about it. Oh, yeah, thanks for saying anything. Freaking collective mind melding, right?
You did a swear bomb. Not allowed to swear.
Listen, Beverly. You don't know what I've been through tonight, okay? You don't know what happens when you leave that goddamn show and I'm left to just deal with my journey, right? Tonight was the first time where me trying to stop what I was doing was physically stopped by emotion and feeling. It was like my stomach turned and I physically had to stop and ready myself and go back into what I was doing, because the person had asked me a question about their career, and it was like there was a deeper problem that needed resolved, and them being brought to me when they thought it was about their career, it wasn't. It was about something else. And it was feelings, man. And that's a new thing to me, is the overwhelming feeling. It's like I'm tuning into the feelings at people's most catastrophic moments. Mad. Just wanted to make camera videos. All right. Just wanted to make videos. All right.
Well, you know, Karen is the expert on emotion code. And out of all of us here, Karen is the one that's been working in this field for years and years and years and years. And she's able to decode the emotion code. And she's able to not only look at it, but dissect it and then remove some of those areas. So if anyone was able to clear what you were feeling, Karen is the person.
Yeah. I definitely don't want it ever cleared for me. Like, I like to
feel.
It's good to feel, and it's good to know, because it's weird. I would rather there was a group of 20 people and everyone shut up and I was like, you're the one, right? It's like I'm drawn to the person. I almost get confused when someone comes to me and is like, oh, answer this question, and it's like, oh yeah. But if I'm drawn, it's weird, Bev, but I'm freaking here for it, my G. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the whole thing, is when that energy, Karen, I don't know whether you agree, but when there's that energy to be able to help a particular individual, that's where you will be drawn. You'll be, energy flows and energy goes to where the need is greatest. And that's what's happening with you.
Absolutely. And it isn't about like clearing your emotions in that way. It's about freeing your heart more and more to your authentic emotions.
Oh yeah, no, you don't have to worry about that. I'm brutally
And
honest.
yeah, I've watched you a time or two, Ron.
Yeah, I'm beyond self-analytical and beyond honest with myself. I'm in no illusion ever. So I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with processing and dealing with it all. It's fascinating in the moment. It's fascinating in the moment. I can't explain it.
I love it.
I freaking love it, my guys. Like I'm so here for it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm so here for it. It's just I'm getting those stories that when people say, "Oh, has something ever happened that it changed your life? What was the maddest thing that's ever happened?" Every Thursday is the maddest thing that's ever happened.
Oh dear. Okay. Karen like that, which is good. Tia Bean has said, "Oh wow, such peace." I'm guessing that she liked the picture. So I want to ask everybody in the chat here, how did everybody do? Did everybody enjoy the little experiment? Did you get some of it? Did you catch some of it? Did you manage to, assimilate some of the emotions around that beautiful, peaceful scene? Obviously, the next one we do will be a little busier, but I thought we'd start off slowly and start very carefully, allowing our energies to move outwardly and to be able to connect with more than just ourselves. So if you found it useful and had lots of fun, please put 1 in the chat. And if you would like our lovely guest, Karen, to come back and talk some more and explain more, and we can do, maybe next time we'll have a volunteer and we can maybe look at some of the energetics and we can see, how would we then both do the image that I would do on the remote viewing side and all of the energy fields, but then maybe Karen can have a look at, well, what does each of it mean, and just give a 50,000 foot view on what she would look at. What is it, Ron?
We need to get Ron.
Ron, are you interested in being a volunteer?
Oh, hell yeah. Hogwarts me up.
Hogwarts me. That's perfect. So there we go, Karen. That's a good one. I think that would be very good. Perfect. So let's have a look and see what everybody is saying. Please like and subscribe, everybody, because we want to be able to continue to bring the show back. It's the first time we're doing this here and the first time we're trying an experiment on such a large scale. So let's have a look. Oh, there was an astral pinch. So let's have a look and see. So what did everybody think and how did everybody do? So if there was any feedback, put feedback in the chat so that I can see how did you do? What did you pick up? How many hits did you have? Oh, it's so good. It's so very good. It's excellent. I see you enjoyed me struggling to find the image and to get it across. Yeah, I can see that in the chat.
Ron was getting a download. Ron was getting a download. I was just about to say that I'm actually now just getting my payoff for all of that suffering right now. And it was
I've got to share this one. This is too funny. Yeah. You'll like this one, Karen. This is from somebody called Katz. "We love you, Bev, because you make me accept myself a little more. So thank you." Oh, that is so lovely. It's a pleasure, Katz. We've got to stick together. So, yeah. And Joseph, of course, we're pleased that your sister's getting better. So, and I think that this is good. I haven't got any comments in here. It's so funny. Oh, and we've got this one here. Oh, Ron's face is a picture. That's really good. So technology, I'm going to go right down to the bottom to see if we can see what everybody's got. Oh, we've got someone here who said, from Helena G, "I've got that image, but not too much greenery and mountains." That's brilliant, Helena, for your first time You've
Bev, I
done
need to go.
really
I love you
well.
lots, guys. Thank you all for being here. I need to go. Bev will be continuing on, but I need to, you're good on your own, Bev, from here, right? Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yes, I'm good on my own. No worries. Thank you for being here tonight. Thanks, Ron.
Freaking
And then we've got
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Ron.
So we've got Tashelle Shamash. I had blue skies, Virginia. That I actually need to find out where that picture was taken, by a tree. So Tashelle, you've cracked it. Well done. And then we've got Lorraine Tredget. I've got the bright green strip of grass with sun on it going across the middle of the screen. There we go. So you know what, Lorraine? You've cracked it. That's a great hit. That's a really, really good hit. And Joseph is saying that's a road in Oregon. So, well, that sounds amazing. So we've got summertime. Somebody has said, Dusty, it said summertime, which is really good. And Patrice had said maybe there's a house around the corner. Well, you never know. There could be a house around the corner. And what else have we got here? Please don't forget to smash the like button so that we can keep on bringing this back, because it's lots of fun. We've got Celtic Knot. Whoa, I think that's how it said. Well, I got Greenfields, Mountain Nature, Farmland. There we go. You got pretty much all 5 Celtic Knots. So you better be back next week right here and try it again, because you did very well. This one, we've got an interesting one here from Lofty Morgaine. My first picture was a side shot with a heavy head leaning down to the right, and I look a bit like a tree. Well, that's good enough, because it's all about images and imagery. So yes, that's a really good start, Lofty. Excellent. And Leslie Simpson is saying, love the pic. And Katz is saying, of course, this reminds me of home, which is lovely. And then we've got someone with a very shocked face of Sim1 saying, oh my God, I got the tree, drew over and over and got the hole in the tree at the end. I don't know what that means, of the path, green, fresh. I literally wrote calm, OMG. Brilliant, Sim1. So you've cracked it. Isn't that good? That's brilliant. So yeah, well done. And then Still Me has got, I got breezy, blue sky, peaceful. So the 3 that you got, they're all hits. They worked. Well done. And someone saying, Dusty saying, I want to live there. Tammy had said she got the exact opposite. That's very interesting. Sometimes if you have the complete polar opposite, that does happen sometimes. So it could also be to do with Mercury retrograde. We've got Sarah, Nature's Way UK. I just got color green and a glowing flower, but missed some of the show as I went off after an advert. Okay, that's fine. So the color green, Sarah, that's a definite yes. So you do have some of it. The glowing flower, I'd need to go back and have a look at the picture, but I don't think there's one in there. But I think other than that, that image was very green. So you picked up the strongest energy in the picture. Wouldn't you say so, Karen?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really good. And then we've got Rosebud. If I can get it to work, come on. Rosebud said, I wrote ocean waves, warm. We've got warm, umbrella shape, blue, but my picture is mountains and the umbrella shape of the tree. So I think the umbrella shape, because if you had a look how that tree was coming up like that, the blue as part of it and the shape. So I think you've got some of that right, most definitely. And the blue, obviously, the sky was blue, which is perfect. The mountains, you got the mountains. There were mountains. There were mountains. So I would say at least 50% of that, apart from the ocean and the waves, those are the only 2 things that don't kind of fit. But the warm, the umbrella shape, the blue, the mountains, and the shape of the tree, that was all fitting very nicely. Let's see what else everybody had to say. Peaceful, sunshine and warmth, which was good. That was Patrice. Well done, Patrice. I think it does have seasonal weather there. Fifi Butterfly had said, does it have seasonal weather there? Because they're growing crops, I think it's possible. Then Sharon Leach had said, I wrote one large tree, central position. Perfect. Absolutely correct. So, yep, fantastic. Witsend had said, I got calm breeze, sunshine. Patrice and others had said the feeling. Again, it's all about the feelings. I have no idea where the picture was taken, but I think I can find out where it is for next time. And I think that I'm just looking to see if there were any others that shared with us. Indiana Farm Girl, thank you once again. Weeds, and that's a good idea about the tree. So yes, that was also picked up. And I think that was good. We've got a very cute comment from I had run free and hot. So they're both actually hits, because run free, I would imagine I could see someone running down that road and running through the tall grasses, and that really good. And hot, and looked like, even though the photo was taken from like the tree going out into the sunshine, I would say that's definitely a hit, Butterfly. Well done. And then Alma Mara said, I got the mountain, sun, fresh air, happy. Excellent. So I think from what I've seen in the chat, I think everybody got a few things that were right. Considering this was everybody's first time, I think you've all done unbelievably well. So I wanted to say thank you so much to Karen tonight for talking to us about all these wonderful things, and explain a little bit more about how people can get in touch with you, and where they can sign up for one of the taster sessions again, so that they can maybe come and see you at some point. You're in America. Yes,
in Colorado. And I just have to thank you for, on the spur of the moment, inviting me. Thank you. This was really fun. And I just now figured out how to turn on the chat. Talk about technology ignorant. I wondered where you were reading all of this. It's like, so I scrolled over comments. Oh.
And there they are. I did ask you if you could see the comments, but at least you know now for next time. Oh, God bless you. Oh, dear. Well, I'm so glad. And Willow Pillow 30, I got green and tree, but I think that's perfect. So I really do hope that everybody that has joined us in the chat this time, that you'll join us next week. We'll have the celebrity energies. I will probably either do Goldie Hawn or Michael Douglas, or I might do a bit of them, or I might choose somebody else. If anybody has a favorite celebrity that they would like me to do a remote view on, please just put it in the comment and I'll pick it up at the end. Karen, is there any final messages that you have for all our lovely, lovely viewers and our people that are supporting us in the chat and our mods?
I do. Just live from your heart. Get out of your head, get out of whatever's out there going on, and get into your heart. Focus on the breath. Take one step at a time and have fun.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. So live life to the fullest, everybody. And thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to the mods. And we'll see you next week. We're next week, same time. Good night, everyone. Good night.